Well, this is different. Usually I'm hiding behind the screen. So yes, this is, I've been on the board 4 years, and it's all Rick's fault, so.
Cream rises to the top.
Yeah, so does other things, but yeah. All right, so here we go. So God is God, neither male nor female, without anger or jealousy, without form, more often ambiguous than distinct. Whether this is because of free will or by design, it can be a bit frustrating. Often I've asked God, can you at least point me in the right direction? And sometimes there's an answer, but more often there's not. It's just silence. And in the silence, I wonder. I wonder about God and the ability to see all the possible outcomes at once and to know which one is the right one. I wonder if God's listening or if God is there. Does heaven and hell exist, and why? Is it pearly gates and clouds? Is hell a fiery wasteland or one that's frozen? I've seen both. I choose to believe there is a God and that God knows this world we live in. I have no proof of existence, yet I take comfort in that belief that we're not alone in this path and that there is some divinity in our struggles. I have learned to listen to the soft voice in my head that tells me to turn left and not go straight ahead, and I just have become to do it. Many times my wife would ask me, why'd I turn? And I said, the voice told me to. And then she stopped one day because she was hearing the voice too. Because it's my path, I've learned to learn not to question it so much. It was always the easy way or the hard way. And if you did the hard way, eventually you were circled around back to the easy way. So, and I'm certainly not a one-trial learner. So 6 years ago, I came to Unity. It'll be 6 years next week. And to hear Lynette Brower speak. And she'd been a student of mine along with Betty and at the college, and I really wanted to listen to her. So I hadn't been to church in years and had quite a grudge against organized religion. It was her last day to speak, so at least I got to hear her once. My work schedule for a while kept me on Sundays, so I didn't have a very constant attendance record for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. And eventually I was able to come more often. I still struggled with myself and my grudge, and still I continued. The voice said, just do it. When I was asked to be part of the AV program, I joined, and soon, Rick's fault, I was on the board. It was a difficult choice to accept the nomination, but the voice said do it. That year, we faced falling revenues and COVID. We moved from Easy Street to Bonanza Square to online services only. Each change came with its own set of problems or difficulties. The board meetings were quite long and at times contentious. Still, we worked through the problems and the challenges. As COVID wore on, I was concerned that the church would not survive here. And then one day, Rick came to me with a proposition. Again, Rick. He wanted me to become board president to release him from that position. I agonized over that decision as it was putting me somewhere that I had never wished to be. And the questions, what am I? Do I have the skills for this job? More so, do I have the will to see it through? I didn't want to influence the board with my non-traditional concepts of religion. And the voice was silent, so I measured each choice with what was best for the church at that moment in time, and I looked ahead to the longer view of what was best. Often it wasn't the choice I preferred. Now it's time to step down from the position and away from the board. It was wise of our creators of our bylaws to set time limits for members of the board. Those who step away can rejuvenate themselves and gain a new perspective for the church and its future. And the board gains new perspective from incoming members. I've learned a lot about myself in those 4 years on the board. I still have the questions I came to Unity with. I'm still looking for those answers. But I have friends on the same path with similar questions, and I'm never alone. Frank Herbert, who wrote the Dune series, had a mantra called the Litany of Fear, and I'm going to quote it here. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it is gone, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. In our world today, it would seem that there is only chaos and fear, but that really isn't the whole truth. It's the struggle between what is and what will be. We hold tight to that which is familiar and fear that which is not. Mankind stands at the edge of a new beginning of what is yet to materialize. The struggle will go on for some time as we hold very tightly to what we have. But change we must, as God itself is change, and we must follow. So to close, to the end of the mantra, I would add, I do not stand alone, and to you, let go and let God.